used to like Stan until I saw that Michigan symbol in the back.
Man, why is everybody hating on Michigan, man? We're just a bunch of lonely little losers, man. We can't win a game to save our life. You know, let us just be in our place, you know, doing things that don't matter to anybody. All right. Hey, Claudette, how we looking? Tiara, are we live?
We are live.
Yeah. What's happening, Asphalt Lifers? We're here with some awesome individuals for the Friday edition of Atlas Pro Talk. We're going to keep it fun and fresh today to head into the weekend. We got AD in the house, Alex Dale, man. This is the Georgia edition. How you doing,
That's right.
Alex?
That's right. I'm good, man. How are you, Stan?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in. I'm ready, man. 5 o'clock hits come soon enough. I'm ready for my.
I think I've about got to the point where I'm going to trade out my alcohol for coffee, and that's just the way I'm going to live right now.
Yeah. And we've also got an amazing individual, Jeremy from Dreamworks is on. Jeremy, how you been, man?
What's going on, big man? How's everything going?
Things are good, man. We got the Georgia trifecta. We can't hang out together, but we can hang out on a Zoom call on a Friday. So I'm happy we get to see each other nonetheless. So,
Perfect, man.
Amen.
Perfect.
well, you guys are looking good. You guys are looking, quarantined a little bit, but at least you got that big yard back there. I saw your kids running around. How's life with the kids and the family all together at home, man? How things going for you, Jeremy?
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. This has honestly been a blessing for us. We were talking in our office the other day, and you know, for the longest time, when you become a business owner or an entrepreneur trying to kind of excel in life, you forget about the most important thing and the most important people. And, you know, through this time, it's allowed me to be home a lot sooner, allowed me to spend a lot more time with my wife and my kids. So, I mean, it's honestly been a blessing in disguise.
No doubt, no doubt. Alex, I know you can relate to that too, man. We become road warriors and we become, really so invested in what we do all day long. I'm sure you're experiencing a little bit of that at home with Leanne and the kids too.
Yeah, you know, I've been in sales for really since 1999, and it's been outside sales, right? And I've had to adjust, and I've been inside sales for the past, how many days? What is this, 87? Is this 87 days that we're in on this, I think? And so I'm going crazy. I usually have a beard, but the other day I was trying to trim the mustache, and I used no guard, and I just scalped my mustache off, and I'm walking around looking like Abraham Lincoln. And so this is how my COVID quarantine has been going right now. It's okay. I'll grow it back.
That's right. Well, it's already growing back in pretty good, man. So I'm so envious of you too. Let me see, Jeremy. Let me see the sideburns, man. You got to connect. There we go. See,
we're wrapping it, dude. We're wrapping it.
I can never get it. I have to rely on my hair to grow long enough to act like I got sideburns.
You should braid it. Just braid it.
Well, let me shout out to who's joining us real quick. We got a bunch of people jumping on Friday, so they're having happy hour with us too. Brian, Alex, Josh, Brad, Lauren, Samantha, Ryan, Josh, Corey, Alec, Thomas is here. And of course, Colleen, my wife, she's sitting right here. She's right in front of me. She's waving on Facebook, dude. So she's excited too. So. Well, good stuff. Well, hey, let's jump right into it. Jeremy, I heard you say you guys are having one of your best starts ever since Dreamworks has been in business, man. So, quarantine or no quarantine, you guys are busy. Tell me a little bit about how you've been managing that and what's been happening.
Yeah, so pretty much for us from the end of Christmas up until this point here, I mean, we've just been wide open. I mean, we've been very fortunate and very blessed. We've obviously had to change a lot of things up in the way we're kind of allowing people in the office and the staff, trying to make sure we keep the office staff, as safe as possible, because if they go down, it just goes in a disarray. But also trying to get the sales guys to maintain things and keep pushing forward, not being afraid to actually get out and interact with people, right? And so, when it came out and we were labeled an essential business, we still had the same mindset that we were going to operate the same way we did all last year. And for us, that kind of put us ahead of a lot of competitors, because a lot of guys are laying back, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, for us, we're going in the 4th year of business, about to go to year 5 next year. And this is this point for us. We got to really push now. So the entire team has just grabbed on and really taken control. And we just put a lot of different practices in place.
That's great. So you've made some pivots into business to really be able to capitalize on the situation, do things right. It sounds like your team must be amazing because they're buying in and you guys are able to really go to work. What have been some of the key factors as an owner, as a manager, as a leader to sort of build that buy-in with your team to adopt some of these changes that you've had to? If they're seeing the success now, that's great. But, rewind the tape 60, 90 days ago when you guys started pivoting. How did you create buy-in as a leader, as a manager?
Well, the simple thing for us was we strategized as a team. We let all the sales guys come in, the office staff, the supervisors, and we just kind of spoke openly about the situation and kind of how we thought it would best suit us to move forward. My team kind of put me in a predicament, and they told me for us to thrive, I've got to set the example so other people can follow. So I've actually found myself in about the last 60 days really in the field more now, not really handling the office stuff. I'm actually out banging doors with guys. I'm helping close deals. I'm actually climbing and doing inspections and tarping roofs, things of that nature. Because one thing, I got taught at a young age is I never want to ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So it's kind of hard for me to sit back here as an owner and parade around an office and tell guys to go do this and do that, but yet I'm not lead by the example. So I think that was a huge turning point for us, and just really excited that, my management, my sales guys and everybody kind of pushed me in that direction and kind of, relit the fire for me.
Yeah, no.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah. And, I saw two schools of thought coming into this, right? And from the contractor community, there was, we're under quarantine, we'll do essential repairs, and we're not going to get in homeowners' faces right now. We're going to respect them. And then there was the other side of it where I'm going to continue to knock doors. I'm going to continue to work. And we believe that homeowners want to hear from us. They want to see us as long as we're safe in what we're doing. Absolutely. I've kind of noticed you guys are knocking doors. You guys are working. And if you're following the Dreamworks Restoration crew on Facebook, or if you're friends with Jeremy or any of his teammates, you see Jeremy's on the roof. Jeremy's on the jobs on these things. So what has been your experience with your customers, your homeowners?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, they've been really receptive. I think a lot of people, a lot of homeowners, myself included, we forget, about our home. Essentially we work our entire days just to have a couple hours and a place to rest your head. But you take for granted that the things that you overlook. And I think, a lot of people, especially when the economy was booming, didn't really pay attention because they were living a really good life or living, a little bit better than what they were before. And when you try to bring that thing to their attention, then it might have not been a big issue. But when you're stuck at home, like Alex said, for 87 days, you start realizing and seeing the stains. You start noticing the shingles that you didn't see before. You start noticing the shutters missing off the house. And for us, it's just we really dialed in to respect the distance, right? But we also knew that we had to push the limit. And so, for us, we limit ourselves to the 6 foot of contact when initiating contact at the door. After that, everything goes virtual. I was on with Michael Kogan for Company Cam last week, and we spoke about how we utilize his systems to be able to actually text a link for the homeowners to see pictures as we're taking them on the roof. I mean, what better way? They're on the inspection with us. And then from that point moving forward, a 3-way call to help file the claim, a DocuSign. Guys come, you leave the check under the mat, or you pay with a credit card. We'll finance the entire job for you if you want that. Keep that money in your pocket. We have no contact after that point. And so once we got people to start realizing that, and we started working the neighborhoods, we really dialed in on, dominating the territories in the neighborhoods. If we're already having success in there, no need to run off somewhere else. Let's utilize that, get the leads we can get more contact with more neighbors. And it's really been an eye opener for me.
You've seen the modern workforce. I mean, it's incredible. Like everything you just said is what I think the industry has been lacking for a long time, right? And you're buying in, and you were set up for success when this stuff happened because you've been putting these processes and these programs and technology and financing, all of the above, into place. And when it all happened, it's like, oh my gosh, this has got to click now, and it's clicking, right? It's actually working. Right. And you mentioned Cam. A big shout out to Gogan, Michael Gogan. If you're watching this or seeing this, that company, I'm telling you, it's one of the most simple things you can do to get virtual. And even if we weren't in this situation, you said it, you bring the inspection, or you bring the homeowner, the customer, with you on the inspection through pictures in a real-time timeline. It's a no-brainer. It's fantastic to hear that you're implementing that.
Yeah,
absolutely. So what you're
Alex,
saying, Jeremy, from what I heard, Jeremy, homeowners were not against you knocking on a door, right?
Dude, I'm gonna be realistic with you. I have not, and we are knocking every day, working all the storms that Georgia's getting. I mean, the storms that we've been begging for, right, for years and years, they're finally hitting in the worst time possible. But we're taking advantage of it, and we haven't got a call in the office yet. We haven't got a complaint. I tell the guys, look, if somebody's not interested, don't try to hard close them. This time, just be kind of passive on the closing deal, and just tell them, hey, have a nice day. I'll leave a brochure right here for you, and we kind of move on. So, we're playing both sides of it. We're using a lot of psychology here. It's not just being guys that go out there and just bang, bang, bang. We're actually thinking about people and how they react in situations, and kind of how we would react and our families react, and it's been beneficial.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it.
I can relate. I've had several contractors out. I've said this on several of the calls, but I think I want to touch back on a point you made about transparency and getting the team involved. You had your salespeople in, you had your staff in, and you guys are talking about how do we do this together, right? And I think that transparency is huge in any business, and any way you could do that as a leader, as a manager of people, the more that they feel like they're bought into what's happening, and the more of a voice they feel like they've got, the more information they've got, the more successful I think you're going to be. And you're clearly implementing that and seeing the success of that. So.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a guy in our organization named Kirk Villar, and he's doing Fridays Kicking It with Kirk. And he's just trying to, again, bring a little lightheartedness to a really crazy situation, but just bring some fun stories and best practices and information. And I think it's gone over really well. But again, it's more of, hey, let's talk about the things that everybody's sort of experiencing. And I think those are the types of things that we're doing as well. But, Alex getting on Zoom calls with his sales team, and again, you having your team in to sort of best practice it. So Alex, what else, man? What else are you seeing guys like Jeremy and other guys do out there to sort of manage the current situation? And now we're sort of going to be managing an even trickier situation in Georgia, because Georgia's now got a hybrid situation, right?
That's right.
Actually back open again, right?
That's right. And, we're seeing, I think for us, Jeremy hit it. We've had some storms hit at a critical time, and, construction, right, wrong, or indifferent, has been deemed as an essential business, right? So we have to have work done. And when storms hit, then, we got to bring customers' properties up to a pre-storm condition. And so from that particular aspect of it, it's one of those things where the contractors that are willing to go out and knock a door, willing to invest in themselves on Facebook, they're willing to invest in themselves online with their website presence. These are the ones that are winning right now. And it's times like these that I've seen that contractors, distributors, and even our own sales reps, I call it widening the gap. So you get out and you do stuff that someone else is not willing to do, and you widen the gap on it. I'm a big sports fan. And for me, when I was growing up and even following my teams like Georgia, and I can't really say the Falcons, but when I was following these guys, if we could win 100-0, well, my gosh, we got to win 100-0, right? And so it's that type of mentality that when you go out and you just put the gas, you put the foot on the gas and you just really go. And so the contractors that I'm see winning are doing just that.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple quick shout outs to our viewers. We got John Carl in here from Chicago, Jeff French in the house. Angel Hernandez is on the house from Smart Choice Contractors. So glad you guys are on and watching. Make sure to shout us out. If you're watching, throw a comment in and you might win an Asphalt Life prize pack. So I want to pivot a little bit here and ask you a little bit specifics about your business. So you got a lot of folks watching here that may be, primarily focused on roofing, but you guys are sort of total home restoration. First off, how is your business sort of broken out? Are you primarily roofing, but you do other things? Is it pretty evenly split? And how do you use those multiple services that you guys offer in order to, expand those projects? Give us a sense of how you guys are set up.
Yeah, so naturally, I come from a roofing background. That's what I got started in when I was 19 years old, roofing sales. So that's where Dreamworks was obviously the direction it was going. But we kind of started realizing that homeowners didn't want to deal with multiple people. They wanted to find one person that can handle multiple traits and get a job completed. So, we primarily do roofing, but we also have the ability to do the other traits on the back end. And we're able to use that and utilize that to upsell homeowners, but it comes back into other situations too, and utilizing the tools that you have to be successful. Another shout out to the guys from Hover. They do a tremendous job. If you guys have never used that product, the ability to upsell a homeowner on about dang near anything that you want to is at your fingertips. I mean, realistically, you can get a 3D diagram of a home within a 2-hour span. Yeah. You can change up siding patterns, colors, windows, doors, roofs, the whole 9 yards. And people, when we're impulsive, humans are impulsive. We want to buy things. How many times do you go into the gas station and you plan on going to pay for gas, but you come out with a Coke and a candy bar? If it's put in front of you, seeing's believing, and that's the way that we are as humans. So that's the way we kind of train our guys. And it's not that we want to be malicious or we want to push something on somebody. But if we bring it to their attention, then we're actually giving a good service, and then we're winning at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, upselling's important, providing more value and then having people, come back to you because they trust you. I think that's huge. And I think that's a great lesson for other restoration contractors that are out there. If you want to get into something else, find somebody that understands it, or go learn about it yourself and add it to the arsenal, because the best customer is the one you've already got, right? The person that already bought a roof from you, and then they're looking at that remodel project saying, gosh, I had a great experience with Dreamworks, oh my gosh, they do bathroom remodels too. I mean,
think about this. How many times you get called to a roofing claim or to a roofing lead and it has missing shingles? Well, they're paying $1,000 deductible or whatever it may be, and for whatever upgrades they want. But Miss Jones wanted to get that house painted last month. She didn't have the $10,000 to pay for the roof and for the painting of the house. Well, you just saved her money through the insurance claim. She has a minimal payment. You can finance all of it to her for a low monthly rate, and you've won on both ends. Now you're doing the roof and you're painting the house.
Yeah. So who are you guys using for financing? Do you have multiple sources, and how have you really what was your experience in getting your salespeople to sell that financing aspect as part of the package? To give us a sense of what the learning curve's been like for you and your team.
Yeah, so we originally had started with Green Sky. We still utilize them. We also have Enhancify and Mosaic. These are a couple different ones that we do utilize. And realistically, the way we've done it, because we've had training with all three companies, we kind of do a questionnaire when it comes to the homeowner. We want to know the history of payment, what the credit is, what the income to debt ratio may be, because each one of them has a different scenario that can get an approval, right? So we don't want to put Miss Jones on Green Sky if we don't think she's going to qualify, but we know Mosaic will give it to her with a little bit higher interest rate. Right. So we kind of play it into those factors, and that's really how we utilize the financing options when it comes to that.
It's part of the qualification, just like what's your budget, what are your problems. You just got to insert those qualification questions of how do you want to pay for this, what do you need, what's your situation. So I think that's huge.
And to touch on that too, you hit it right on the head, but it's a lot easier said than done. Yeah. I see it all the time in training with not only our guys, but other companies and things of that nature. We forget to ask for the business. You forget to ask for the sale, and you forget to bring the options to the table because you're scared to. Dude, people want to buy. They just need options. And if you can give it to them, you're going to close the deal every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, choice is an important thing, right? Do not be afraid of offering your customers choice, whether that be on product or whether that be by adding warranty options, whether that be by adding service agreements, whether that by be adding choices in terms of colors or styles, and certainly in payment options, right? The most sensitive, emotional part of any of these projects is the price. And so if you can take some of that emotion out of it by having choices there, I think that's huge. And you hit another point too, like you can finance a project that's even had insurance proceeds applied to it as well. So they can take that insurance check and maybe apply that to other things that they need and use the financing, right? That's a completely, fair and legal way of going about it. If they're paying their deductible and they want to use that money to go pay some bills, especially when money's tight, and then finance the rest of the project, that's a huge way that you guys can use it, right?
Absolutely. We actually, it's funny that you say this, and Alex, this was a little secret, but it's not really a secret. You gotta implement it. We actually started doing this maybe about a month and a half ago. We started offering to get the roofs paid through insurance if they qualified, and being able to finance the deductible, the upgrade, and the entire job all into one. Yep. The homeowner is able to keep the check on the back end. The money that was allotted for the insurance claim was paid to repair what was paid for, keeps them inside the regulations. They've got capital and cash flow. If they got furloughed or laid off, they don't have to worry about it. Your sales guys getting paid faster. They're making more money. They're a lot happier, and you don't have to worry about cash flow. See, and that's the one big thing for me that I wanted to make sure that, when we get out of this, and it sounds like we're moving in the right direction, was that, I didn't want to lay anybody off. I didn't want to have to fire anybody. We have kept our staff 100%. We hadn't missed payroll one time. And that's because we took some of the things that we weren't good at before and we just implemented them and we made ourselves do them. We didn't do this stuff last year. We actually sucked at it really, really bad. And I didn't hold my guys accountable to it. But, when you get put in an uncomfortable situation, you really figure out what you're made of. And our team has definitely risen to the occasion, and they exemplify what any owner would look for when it comes to putting best practices in play.
This is the double down scenario that people listening to this have got to take seriously. Just because something didn't work for you before doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you in the future. And a lot of it comes back to resolve and also holding yourself accountable. I just heard a little bit of self-accountability. I wasn't holding my people accountable for something that I know was on me partially, right? And then when we start doing that, when we realize that stuff, it's amazing how we can turn a corner. So financing is one of those key areas. CRM is one of those key areas. Whatever it is, don't just say we tried it once, it didn't work. Facebook advertising didn't work, man. I'm never going to try it again. That's the wrong mentality. You got to figure out, well, what was it that I could control and fix this, right? And that's about personal responsibility and identifying what we can do to fix it, man. So I love to hear the journey, man. That's awesome. That's awesome you guys turned that corner with financing because it's complicated stuff. Quick shout out to Colin Brinson, Michael Phelps on. I don't know if that's the Michael Phelps I'm thinking, man. We got, if we are, we got very lucky. We got Tiffany Hudson. Glad you guys are on. Premier Claims in the house, man. Hell yeah. What's up, Premier Claims? Coming to us from Nebraska. We got Teresa on. We got Finer Construction, Eric James, and BP in the house. So great to see you guys on and watching and commenting. Alex, what do you think, man? Where are some of the biggest struggles you've seen in like these blockers for either sales reps or business owners in getting financing really implemented in a really positive way?
The biggest thing that I see is twofold. One is it's a resistance to change, right? Us as humans, we hate to change. We hate to pivot. We hate to steer away from the course that we were already going. And when we're used to collecting checks, when we're used to collecting cash, now it's an uncomfortable conversation to talk about financing. And what I've seen is if you talk about financing from the onset and you take that cost consideration and you squash that because you can address that, then you're more successful. So being able to pivot, that's a big word right now, is pivot. So to be able to pivot and talk about something more differently, but also like in Jeremy's case, and to recognize that you weren't doing so well in something, and now we got to do better. We got to double down on it. We've got to do better because the livelihood and the long-term implications of your business kind of rely on it right now in what we're doing. So financing, hey, I'm gonna hit you back, boom, just like that. So financing is just.
I saw your little one, Jeremy, running around in the background in that little tractor, man. So our kids are ready for us. Sorry, AT.
No, you're good. The financing piece is just so huge for what we're doing out there, to be able to talk to it and be able to be versed in it, but also know it's not that you're trying to take one over on somebody. You're trying to help them for their benefit.
Absolutely.
And so when you change your mindset on what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with selling someone to help them.
Yeah. Well, I want to take this one last minute on financing, Jeremy, and just ask you what's happening with your business. So when we talk financing, we always remind people taking credit cards is a form of financing. And then
Absolutely.
You've got really two other forms. You've got promotional financing, which is really those 12-month, 18-month, I've got the cash, but I want to use your cash. And then you've got monthly payment financing. So of those three, when a roof's not getting paid for with cash or just paying cash for the deductible, when you are financing, what is the breakout that you've seen where most homeowners are going, or is it pretty evenly split between those three: credit, promotional, and monthly payment? What are you seeing?
It's honestly, it's kind of been the direction that we steer them in. We want to give the options, but we also know which options are going to be best.
Right.
When you can try the in-house financing, well, right now you also got to think about what's going on with the economy and people not wanting to spend money. So you don't want to put yourself in cash flow, situations. So for us, we're really just steering people hard to the monthly payments. We want people to really take on to that. Plus, it takes the liability out of our hands. We're, as a company, you have to be kind of selfish in this situation, and we want to make sure we're paid in full for the job.
Yeah.
That we're able to pay the commissions, pay the labor, pay the material. And then, if the homeowner ends up defaulting on the loan, hey, they take that up with the financial institution.
Right.
I don't have to now spend money on a lawyer and going to court and wasting time. So we really drive them that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good to know. And I think you got to make that decision for your business and what makes sense. But you're right. In a monthly payment situation, it's a best of both worlds situation. They can pay that loan off early at any point at no penalty. They can get on a monthly payment program, right, which is really the most affordable way to get a roof today. And again, you're paid and moved on down the road and not worrying about whether or not they're going to come back on you for any reason, right? So I think it's awesome to hear. So guys, let's pivot to family. I got Poppy's coming to dab a little bit. What are you guys doing at home having fun? Come here. Come on, guys. Come on over here. What are you guys doing at home with your kids and your family right now, man? What's been happening? What are you guys up to? What shows you watching? What activities are you guys doing? Tell me what's up, Alex. Tell me what's up, Jeremy, with your families.
Jay, I think I saw Feeney on a Gravedigger. Was that Gravedigger?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my jam right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. We've just been I've been doing the regular thing, working. So I hadn't really seen much change in that. I've been trying to get home earlier to spend more time with the family. We got a new camper, so Megan's on this camping spree thing of wanting to remodel this whole thing. So once I get off of this, I guess that's what I'll start going to do here in a minute. But just keeping it simple.
Yeah. Same here. It's we spend a lot of time at home at this point. We're playing catch a lot. Unfortunately, my son Ryan's baseball season got canceled, but they're talking about maybe bringing it back for like a month. But he still wants to get out and throw the ball. Yeah. He's learned to ride a bike without training wheels, so he's all over the place now, and he's learned to start reading chapter books. So he's reading, man. He's just growing up before our eyes, and our little girl she's just all over the place. I think she's certifiable crazy at this point, but that's like a 2-year-old thing.
Yeah, 2 to 3, I think she would, maybe 4. That's like a legit thing. Like we're crazy, you're crazy. Everybody's crazy at that age.
Yeah, everybody's crazy.
Phoenix is 2 now, but he walks around here and thinks he's like 21. So
well, it's only going to get worse, brother. Yeah, well, he had his baseball season canceled too, so we're in the same boat, Alex. We're looking forward to hopefully some summer ball, and we're hanging on with big hopes that Boy Scout summer camp will also not get canceled. So, but we're trying to keep it real and keep it fun. But guys, we're getting close to that time, happy hour. They're obviously anxious for their dad to get off on this Friday too. So we're going to round it out with your closing thoughts and message for the Atlas Pro community and just other contractors. Jeremy out fighting the fight, doing the things you're doing. Mm-hmm. Some having the very same success. I've heard a lot of that, man. We are busy. Homeowners are home. They want to see you, and others that are maybe not having that same experience. So some closing thoughts, and then we'll have our little happy hour toast. So Alex, we'll start with you, and then we'll close it out with you, Jeremy.
I kind of wanted to leave it with, I've been reading a lot of books. I'm a reader. I like to read. I like to grow. And this is the one I've been reading here lately. It's Napoleon Hill's Truthful Living. Okay. So Napoleon Hill is back in the 1900s, and he wrote a lot about, he wrote Think and Grow Rich. and all that stuff. And in chapter 12, he talked about selling yourself. I thought this was huge for this conversation in the contracting community. And his piece was, we do not get more for our services than the price we place upon them. Okay. So no guy has ever sold a suit for $30 that he had priced at $25. And no contractor has ever sold a roof for $300 a square that he had priced at $250. So the second you raise your prices, you start to think you're worth more, you believe you're worth more, and you're going to start to do more so that you meet that and you are actually worth more. So I thought that was just huge and a good takeaway. So raise your prices, everybody.
I love that, man. I think it's so true, man. You guys are worth it. You are taking on the liability. You guys have people that you're keeping employed. You're putting on quality products and quality stuff. So I think that's a really important lesson, that if you're out there, dreading your price or dreading someone else's price, get it up. What's up, little man? How you doing? What's this guy's name?
This is Phoenix.
Phoenix, what's up? Say hello to the Asphalt Life community, brother.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
All right. What a handsome young man with his goldfish, man. He's a lucky guy. Well, Jeremy, send us into the weekend with some closing thoughts, man, for everybody out there.
Yeah, and I'd like to double off what Alex was talking about, and really for ownership, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget where you started. These times right now are really where you got to get back to the basic fundamentals, and keep pushing forward, and create the correct culture. Create culture that people want to be infectious with, and people want to be a part of. And you won't really see the downfall. So, I just keep pushing, don't stop moving, and and don't be afraid to put your pride aside. And if you need help, man, ask for it.
Absolutely. Amen. Ask for help, man. That is a great piece of advice. It's so simple, but something so we often forget, right? And I think you got to be willing to engage with other people about what's working and be honest about what doesn't. There's a lot of those lessons. And man, I am just so happy you're having such an awesome year. I really am. And I hope it continues. I know it will, because you're a winner and you're an awesome guy and a great leader. So we're excited for you and proud to be part of your team. So we're going to let you get back to this guy. We're going to have our little toast. Our kids are, they're ready to hang out. So we're going to do our little Asphalt Life toast for everybody out there having our little happy hour with us. Cheers to you. Prize pack winners today, Chris Bubba Miller and Eric James Plain. So Eric James Plain and Chris Bubba Miller are two prize pack winners. We appreciate everybody that jumped on. Stephanie jumped on at the end. Lauren, Stephanie Miller did. Chris Miller. We're so excited to share this time with you on Friday. Jeremy, here's to you. Alex, here's to you. We'll see you guys next week. Let's get after it.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right. See you guys.